Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition from Tuesday the 20th of December comes to you from Petra in Jordan. And we start by looking at the dollar chart. We'll look at some currencies first, then some stock markets, commodities. The big story at the moment in all markets really is this dollar strength. We're seeing here we're coming back to test last week's level. We've still got 2% upside on the short-term chart, so that is really the story. It's all about dollar strength at the moment, and then that filters through to euro weakness, and we're seeing here this the euro now below 104. We haven't quite broken last week's low yet. But if we do, that activates a downside target to 99 cents. But really the interesting story is what's happening on the long-term chart. This is my weekly chart, and if we look at the 1% point and figure chart, we see here how we've got a little green cross here. This is actually a green circle here. This is actually activating this downside target. Now we need it to close out at that level today for that to go red, but that activates that downside target to 60 cents. This is catastrophic for the euro if we close at these levels today. We do have lots of downside targets. It's really almost a one-way bet. So that's really significant that the euro is falling now below these levels and activating these key downside levels. So just keep an eye on those charts. Dollar yen, we see here that we are still making new highs here, dollar against the yen. We're not quite testing last week's levels, but we are seeing here that we are just coming off. Sterling testing new lows this morning. 120, it's below 124 again, and we've activated this downside target to 117.93, so that's another 5% downside. So sterling has got further to fall by the looks of things. So a pretty dramatic week unfolding in currencies, dollar strength, and European currencies, including sterling, falling heavily against the dollar. So really that's the theme for 2017: strong dollar, weak euro, weak sterling. And I would hazard to guess that the euro will be the weakest of those currencies. Looking at the S&P 500 index, we are just, again, we went up a few points overnight, so we are just seeing that strength kicking in. So we're not we need to get above this 2275 level to really be running, and that would activate this upside target to 2453, giving us 8% upside. So we really are seeing the US market really starting to motor now, and of course the long-term targets are absolutely great on this market as well. We've got 19% upside here on the medium-term chart and 23% upside here on the long-term chart. So really strong upside targets for the US market, so that's really quite key. And we see on the Nasdaq that we are just teetering along on this this level here. We just 49.60 levels were now what we need to break, 49.50, 49.60, but Nasdaq looking pretty strong all round, so that's quite key. The Russell was up 0.5%, the Dow was up only just 0.2%, but the US markets generally are all looking pretty strong, and the Nasdaq is now regaining its position amongst the other markets where it had been weaker. FTSE also just nudging a little bit higher, needs to just take out these levels as well, the high point here. Just 2015 high, which is this 7,000 level, pretty important. We're back above it, but we need to really get above 7,100, 7,200. A shortage of new short-term upside targets here at the moment, so that is quite key. So we do need to break to these new levels on the FTSE. But interestingly, we are above the cloud now on all three charts, so that is quite positive for FTSE. We just need to see that run higher. Nasdaq also, Nikkei making new highs, looking pretty good as well. So upside target here of 5%. China not looking good. It's still falling below these levels. So China and the Hang Seng looking worse. Brent, we're above the cloud at the moment. We've got upside targets. We do have a little downside target here as well. Bit of a mixed picture, but we are through on this weekly cloud. Brent now starting to look pretty strong indeed. So the seasonality as we go into the new year is strong. Does suggest that we are going to these higher targets now, into a new uptrend, so looking pretty good there. Gold is really just teetering along the bottom here. Will we find support in the cloud? We're just trying to get through on the short-term chart, but no really big thrust targets, so that's looking a little bit weak. My internet connection not so good today, so that's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.